I've never been handed anything. No shortcuts, no favors, no safety nets. I worked for everything I have. College, paid for with scholarships and night shifts. My job, earned through interviews, results, and a resume that took years to build. And at 28, I was finally getting noticed, promoted to lead a major client project at a top firm. People respected me until he came along. His name was Mark, senior director, old school, sharp suit, expensive watch, and the kind of smile that felt like a trap. He'd been with the company for 15 years. Everyone knew him. Everyone feared him, or at least pretended to like him. And when I got promoted, he started noticing me too. At first, it was subtle. You've got potential. I like the way you lead. Let me know if you ever want to grab a drink, off the record. I smiled, thanked him, kept it professional. But then came the first real offer. We were in a conference room, just the two of us, finishing a late client call. I stood up to leave and he said, "You know, with the way your career's going, you could really go far. Faster. With a little help." I froze. All I'm saying is, we'd make a good team. Dinner sometime? No pressure. I paused, smiled politely, and said something I practiced 1,000 times in the mirror. "Thank you, but I'd prefer to keep things professional." He laughed. "Of course. No big deal." But something in his voice shifted. The next week, everything changed. My client presentation was mysteriously removed from the agenda. A budget file I triple-checked was missing data. And suddenly, my name wasn't being included in key meeting invites. At first, I thought I was imagining it, until I overheard someone in the break room whisper, "She's not really as sharp as people say. Heard she just got lucky." That's when I knew. Mark wasn't just offended. He was coming for me. But what he didn't know is that I wasn't going to fight him in the open. I wasn't going to scream, wasn't going to cry, wasn't going to run to HR empty-handed. I was going to collect everything, and when the time was right, I'd end him. I didn't react, didn't flinch, didn't let him see a single crack, because the first rule of war, stay calm, stay underestimated. So while Mark thought he was sabotaging my career quietly, I was watching and recording everything. I started logging every meeting I was removed from, every email he forgot to copy me on, every passive-aggressive message, every sudden performance concern with no real proof. I saved screenshots, voice memos. I even got IT to confirm that someone manually altered my access rights on 3 project files. Guess who had admin-level clearance? Meanwhile, I played the game, smiled when I saw him, nodded in meetings, laughed at his fake jokes, because he didn't know I was documenting him piece by piece, like a case file, and not just for HR. I had bigger plans. Then I started building my backup army. First was Leah, one of the interns he ignored constantly. She told me about late-night messages he sent her asking if she was dating anyone and calling her cute for an analyst. She still had them. Then came Daniel, a former project manager who left quietly last year. I called him, and guess what? He left because of Mark and had proof, emails, complaints that were buried, people who left because Mark blocked their promotions. This wasn't just office politics anymore. This was a pattern. And once I had enough, I compiled everything, organized it like a legal case, dates, names, attachments, impact. Then I made 3 copies, one for HR, one for the board member I knew personally through a Women in Business event. 3 and one for Mark's boss. I booked a meeting, titled it Request for Confidential Ethics Review. I didn't yell, didn't make threats. I simply presented the truth, page by page, and I watched their faces go pale. The meeting ended with one sentence. "We'll look into this immediately. Please keep this confidential." I nodded, smiled, and went back to my desk like nothing happened. But inside, I knew the clock was ticking, and Mark had no idea. Over the next 2 weeks, things got very quiet. HR started asking more questions, scheduling routine check-ins, interviewing old employees. Then Mark began to notice. One day I walked past his office. He was on the phone, his voice sharp, panicked. "I don't know what she's talking about. None of that happened." That's when I knew. He knew. A few days later, Leah, the intern, messaged me. HR just interviewed me about Mark. I told them everything. Then Daniel texted me. They asked me to reshare the emails. I sent them all. The walls were closing in. And I stayed silent, still polite, still smiling in meetings, still under pressure with performance issues that somehow never stuck. Then came the moment. We got an email, all staff, leadership restructure announcement. Mark was stepping down to pursue new opportunities, effective immediately. No goodbye speech, no party, no mention of gratitude, just gone. Whispers spread fast. People knew something happened, but no one said a word, except to me. Co-workers messaged me. "You okay? Was it true?" "Thank you, seriously. Thank you." Even one of the executives stopped me in the hallway and said, "We're keeping an eye on your career, just so you know." And then, a week later, I got called into a meeting, different room, different tone. They offered me a new role, higher title, more pay, more power. Why? Because I didn't just survive a snake like Mark. I outplayed him. I took the promotion, not out of spite, not to prove anything. I took it because I earned it. Because even with every roadblock Mark threw at me, I never stopped doing my job, never stopped delivering, never stopped showing up. That's what real power looks like. Not loud, not angry, just unshakable. People began treating me differently. Colleagues who once questioned me now asked for my input. The interns, they felt safe around me, and the new hires, they saw someone who looked like them. Young, focused, female, holding her ground in a room full of suits. Sometimes I still get asked, "How did you keep your cool? Why didn't you blow up at him?" Because I didn't need to. Mark destroyed his own career. I just handed them the paperwork. I didn't expose him out of revenge. I did it to protect the people who were next.